Was she at the time? Is this for real, y'all?
Yeah. Well,
none of this is relevant. Whatever is happening between Ms. Bumpus, Mr. Jackson, has nothing to do with the guilt or innocence.
Unfortunately, the bias of a witness, well, fortunately, or I strike that. It is not fortunate or unfortunate, except for the fact that it is dragging this case on even longer. But a witness's bias towards a party may always be shown.
if she isn't,
Don't talk at the same time.
Caleb Bumpus is not a party to this incident. Caleb.
Yes, but if she's married to one of the parties, then that might qualify.
If I I don't know. I'm not the proponent of this evidence. I'm hearing Mr. Weinstein out, but my silence should not be viewed as acquiescence. That I believe this should be admitted.
You just freaking knew the last witness that we was gonna have, bruh. It got so crazy today that the judge in the previous clip had to say, really? Get me out this kangaroo circus. You know what? Let's just listen to the whole thing. You got your popcorn ready? You sitting down? You got something ready for you? If you're sipping something, you're eating something, you're drinking something, whatever it is that you may be doing, you will enjoy this. Trust and believe.
Because unfortunately, it's my job to further tax the patience of the court.
What's that?
Yeah, I have a motion to strike the testimony of Investigator Viverito as well as any evidence that came under her. And the reason I make this motion, Your Honor, is yesterday it came up that she had not been following the case. The court asked me to not pursue that. I'm not.
Come up that she had been following the case. It came up that she knew that somebody had mentioned her on Twitter.
Okay, and your opinion would have been different if she was following the case? Because,
No, if you know that she was following the case, that doesn't exclude her as a witness. You can let the jury know that.
okay, because
You can ask her that.
I can ask her about her following the case?
Sure, and we'll see what she says.
Okay.
And if that's so, then it still doesn't exclude her testimony. It just lets the jury know, well, she may know some of this other stuff from listening to some other witness.
Okay, because what I would like to get into, and we may as well bring it up now before the jury is here, is that she got into an altercation out in the hallway with Kayla Bumpus.
Why is that relevant to the guilt or innocence of
I'm
these
about
men?
to go there, Your Honor.
Okay.
Just let me finish a second. She got into it because she was watching Kayla Bumpus's YouTube feed about this case, and Kayla Bumpus apparently called her.
Okay, you may get into whether she has been tracking this case.
Mm-hmm.
You may not get into whether she got into a dispute with somebody about their posts.
It gets into her bias against these defendants, Your Honor. It goes directly to it.
What are you proposing to ask?
I'm proposing to ask if she told Kayla Bumpus in the hallway that was the last time she was going to call her a hoe. It goes direct.
I'm sorry, the last time who was going to call?
Sorry for the pronouns. That Kayla Bumpus was going to call Investigator Viverito
We need to get into who it was, or just that somebody?
I think we need to get into who it
Why?
was.
Why?
Because she's married to Mr. Jackson.
Well, was she at the time? Is this for real, y'all?
Yeah. Well,
None of this is relevant. Whatever is happening between Ms. Bumpus, Mr. Jackson, has nothing to do with the guilt or innocence.
Unfortunately, the bias of a witness, well, fortunately, or I strike that. It is not fortunate or unfortunate, except for the fact that it is dragging this case on even longer. But a witness's bias towards a party may always be shown.
if she is in a dispute,
Don't talk at the same time.
Caleb Bumpus is not a party to this incident. Caleb.
Yes, but if she's married to one of the parties, then that might qualify.
I don't know. I'm not the proponent of this evidence. I'm hearing Mr. Weinstein out, but my silence should not be viewed as acquiescence. That I believe this should be admitted. I need to hear what Mr. Weinstein's saying because I may have an objection myself.
What I'm saying is that if there is a relationship between Ms. Bumpus and the defendant, then Investigator Viverito's bias against that
Against being called a bad name?
No, if she is in an altercation with someone that's in a relationship with a defendant, I think, and especially if it is a threat, because
How is that a threat?
that's the last time you're going to call me a hoe. I mean, I've had clients arrested for less.
You may ask.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No, I'm not finished with my sentence. You may ask if she is following the case and has been following the case in any kind of manner. But it's really only relevant if she listened to the testimony of a witness. So you could ask that. But if she's just looking at, and I don't even know if she was looking at, maybe somebody told her. So why don't we get her in here and find all of that out outside the presence of the jury before we go into something that ends up being a bunch of nothing?
Well, that's why I wanted to bring it up when the jury wasn't here, Your Honor.
So can we also bring up before we go into the side circus, the fact that Ms. Bumpus represented Mr. Copeland? I'm about to open up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think saying who this is before we find out anything, I mean, do we know whether, we don't even know whether she's actually married to him or if she was married to him at the time or if Ms. Viverito knows that, or if it was because of any kind of bias against Mr. Stillwell, or just that she doesn't like being called that name.
Well, and no one would, Your Honor, obviously. But if she is in an altercation with someone in a relationship.
What do you mean by altercation?
A verbal altercation.
Okay. I mean,
You know,
a
if there's-
verbal, that's
if
the
there-
last time you're going to call me that?
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
That's the last time you're going to call me that? That's not exactly an altercation. Is that,
Okay.
is that all you've got?
That's all I have.
Okay, that's it. I think that this is 403 material.
There we go. One for the stick.
Hoisted on my own petard, Your Honor.
Correct. All right, let's get the witness back in and the jury back in.
Now, some of you may be like, yeah, that makes sense, but why does it make sense? Like, logically it makes sense, but I want to know law-wise why it doesn't make sense. Because what happens is what's supposed to happen technically is this. Your witness is not supposed to come in there with a bias. Granted, their testimonies will always be favorable to the state or to the defense, depending on who. That's why you want them. But it's supposed to be favorable due to the facts. And the facts of the matter is this. If she's being biased and she's already had a previous bias, she shouldn't be on that stand, because you should take your feelings out of it. Like they say all the time, facts over feelings. Well, Officer Tits Verito, she couldn't understand that part. And so it is what it is. I didn't know that Caleb Bumpus was there. No disrespect to Caleb Bumpus, but I ain't been watching nobody's stuff but my own. I don't want to be liked by anybody or disagreed with by anybody by taking somebody or absorbing somebody's ideas and then pass them off as my own. Because even when I do, I give them credit. Like, shout out to AV to the 7th power. I'll be watching her stuff, and I'm not a lawyer, but so they do their thing, but I watch them typically after. Now, AV might pop up on Twitter, but that's something completely different. If it pop up there, I always give credit. So yeah, you don't want your head detective in there, messing it up. And I'm gonna be fair to y'all, bro. She's a horrible witness. She's a liar, and she's vindictive, and she's immensely arrogant. As somebody who gets accused of being arrogant all the time, I can attest. Because this is the one thing that she does, and it pisses me off. And I have a cousin that do this. And some of y'all fellas, y'all ladies do this exact same thing. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you put a bunch of laugh emojis, it'd be like, yeah, you're right. This is what I mean. What she does is this. And this is something my cousin does all the damn time. And if she watching it, I don't care. Call me. Cuss me out. Hey, Officer Viverito, when you walked in, was the lights on or off? Well, when I walked in, I observed that there were chairs in front of me. I opened the door, and then I started to look and peer through. Yeah. All right, cool. But is that yes or no, were the lights on? Well, if you would let me get to it, no. It's a simple yes or no explanation afterwards. And she doesn't do that. Why? Because she's trying to sway the jury as though she's some super expert, which she's completely not. Because even Matt Sharp pointed out today, Shell Kelly and them been saying a whole bunch of stuff and doing a whole bunch of things. There are meme pages that are saying a whole bunch of stuff with a whole bunch of killings and all that. Did you ever investigate the meme pages? Because you have access to Instagram so that you can actually find the IP address and all the individuals making all that crap? Well, they weren't a part of it. No! Did you do it? No, I did not. Because what happens is they became so fixated, and this is just, I'm going to just make it honest. Some of these cats in this trial, like SB, have unfortunately, or fortunately for themselves, put a target on their back. Because the target that's on his back actually, in my opinion, exonerated him. But let's get on with some more clips of the trial. Long video ahead, of course.
Okay, that's fine. So, but the answer is he is not
not.
charged. And it's just 2 years, 8 months later.
It's still open active investigation.
Right, and you've had you collected these postings that Mr. Watts made way back in March of 2022.
Correct, but so investigations, just the social media posts aren't enough to arrive at probable cause. You need him maybe on video at the crime scene before that murder, things of that nature. So if social media was enough for probable cause, a lot of people probably would have gone to jail for this, but we don't do that.
Right, because there were a lot of people posting on social media.
Correct.
A lot of people posting horrible things on social media.
But unfortunately, nobody was on camera at the scene or there. Or there was no Nibin.
Investigative Viverito, I know that you have come with an agenda today, and I know that you want to talk about the security cameras, and we will absolutely talk about the security cameras, I promise you.
Commentary and
Well, there's commentary going on both sides. Answer the question that's asked.
Okay, I want to clean up some, we're going to shift off of social media and we're going to get to the wiretaps. Okay, I want to clear up some issues, or not issues. I want to talk about the wiretaps and what we talked about Friday and yesterday. You had a wiretap. I understand you had one on Mr. Sumlin's phone. I'm not going to be talking about Mr. Sumlin's phone. I'm talking about Demekion Garlington. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Do you have the number for the total number of calls recorded or listened to during that wiretap?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay. Was it in the thousands? Is that fair?
Probably in the thousands, yes.
Okay. Do you know how many total calls Mr. Stillwell was a party to?
I couldn't give you a number, but it would probably be not as many as others because he went into custody, I think, within 6 days of the wire going up.
Fair enough. And just so we're clear, when you apply for a wiretap, you send something to the phone company, correct?
Correct.
And the phone company is told not to inform anyone about the wiretap, certainly not to inform the subscriber.
Correct.
So no one, to your knowledge, no one told Mr. Garlington that he's being recorded,
Correct.
okay, because that would defeat the purpose of the wiretap,
Correct.
right? And to your knowledge, no one told anyone else that there was a wiretap on Mr. Garlington's phone.
Correct.
Okay. Now, the state referred to the calls that were played for the jury yesterday as a sampling. What was played to the jury wasn't exactly a random sampling of the calls, was it?
No, all of the calls were turned over, and it's my understanding that they had to be narrowed down.
Right. The state, in preparation of your testimony, they gave you a CD or some sort of flash drive with a number of calls that they chose and asked you to review them, correct? So you could speak intelligently about them.
Yes.
Okay. So it wasn't a random sampling, it was calls that the state chose to focus on.
It's my understanding that the prosecution and the defense decided on what could and would be played. So it wasn't just random, let me pick 20 calls out of a bag. It was calls that were relevant to the case.
Right. Yeah.
I was telling folks, I'm like, shit, what the hell they locked up for? Like, they just saying about it. I'm like, bro, they good. I'm just like, they gonna assume some shit like that anyway. They gonna assume that, like, oh, like, y'all ain't did, ain't kill me, so.
That's what I keep telling Look, I keep telling him like, just chill. Like, I know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, 'cause they
this
saying
ain't
he
nothing. Yeah, I'm like, this ain't nothing, bro. Like, they just doing that cut. They seen us at goddamn gas station. Like, just chill. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. That's what I'm telling. I keep telling him all the time. I'm like, listen, bro. Just like he like, bro, I'm telling probably in the cat. Listen, bro, no. Just tell him what you want to talk, bro. Like,
Not one word.
yeah,
Don't give a damn what they try to portray or what they say, man. Don't say shit.
yeah. I ain't know that though. Like, so I didn't. I need to tell him how that. Yeah.
And you can keep that up because I'm going to ask you to play another part. But thank you, Mr. Atkins. So on that call, again, neither party has reason to believe they're being recorded. That's Demekion Garlington and Shannon Stillwell.
Correct.
And they talk about they going to assume shit.
Correct.
Mr. Garlington says, y'all didn't do nothing.
Correct.
And then Ms. Stillwell says, they just saying it because they seen us at the gas station.
Correct.
Okay. Mr. Atkins, if you could please.
I got this. Don't call on Atkins. What we're gonna do is we're gonna exonerate Shannon, Stillwell, Jackson, Bumpus. I don't know if they married or not. I truly don't care. But sometimes you just gotta have fun with it, based off what happened in the beginning clips. Yeah, let's just go ahead and clear him, because what the state's theory was, and I think this is where Santa Claus got it wrong at, was the guy that was walking in the back. Apparently, because when he started to run, that's when they alleged that Shannon Stillwell actually shot. But the problem with that is if you ever been shot at or seen somebody getting shot at, the first thing they do is freeze, get low, start searching, and then take off. Because what you don't want to do is start running towards the fire. So if they just see bow, 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 the guy will at least stop to process what happened and then go the other way. And that's what he did. But the timing in which he did it does not support the state. So let's go ahead and get Shannon Jackson up off the murder charges. And the person I got it from came from Facebook. He sent this to me. So I want to give credit where credit is due. I just don't remember Cuz's name right now. Sorry about that, buddy. But let's do it.
That video shows that my client shot Shamel Drinks.
Participated, yes.
Okay. I mean, your theory is that my client was driving.
Yes.
Okay. And Your theory is that the shot was fired out of the driver's side of the car.
Oh, the Audi, yes.
Yeah. Your theory is that Shannon Stillwell was in that white Audi and shot Shamel Drinks at that stoplight.
Yes.
And your contention is that video, that FedEx video, will back that up, ultimately.
That's my conclusion from my investigation, yes.
Okay, cool.
But that isn't what happened. And what ultimately Matt Sharp was able to prove today was that Shannon Stillwell got nosy after people started hitting him up like, hey, man, that wasn't you that was up over there, was it? His grandma hit him up. His girl hit him up. All of this crap and everything like that. And I ain't gonna lie. Shannon fired Matt Sharp after this because, bruh, he was like, let me tell y'all why I'm saying that. Matt Sharp brought in that Shannon Stillwell Jackson is a serial cheater. And basically, he said to his homie, hey, if my girl call you, just tell her I'm out op hunting. He said nobody else. He just said, if my girl call you, not my grandma call you or anybody call you, tell you. No, he just said my girl because if that way, if he's doing something illegal, she ain't gonna call him and blow his phone up because he's out there op hunting. But really, what he was looking into was that hunting. He was trying to get that minka maka, mooka maka, minka maka. I'm just joking. I'm really not. But Shannon got on the phone and was talking and was like, we ain't got nothing to worry about. We ain't did nothing and anything like that. Like, bro, that car clean. Ain't no, you know what I'm saying? Meaning, how would you know just because a car is clean that we ain't fire at nothing or nothing like that? Like, nah, bro. We had a silencer on it. I had my hand over it with a freaking sweater or something like that, and they can't see nothing, like nothing. None of that stuff exists in what he was saying. So basically, yeah, he didn't do it. He didn't do it. I know that's not what people want to hear, but he didn't do it. Sorry. Sorry, bro. Like, I'm sorry. Now, from what I gathered, when his grandma hit him up, and they like, bro, I hope you're all right and all that stuff, then he went on Fox 5, and he was like looking like, oh, snap, what the hell? Because I think more than likely what happened was when he turned, shots fired and all that shit, ain't got nothing to do with me. And I wouldn't be going back over there and looking and all that stuff. And Viverito got caught lying like 4 times on the freaking stand when she said, oh, they said we were going back to the scene. No, he said we're going back to the city. But the accents on these cats in Atlanta will make you think that he said something else. Dude said we're going back to the city. Now we're going back to the scene. But Viverito shows her arrogance. You want more proof she shows her arrogance? How wrong her ass is? Check out this little Uzi shit.
Mr. Wooney Lee and Mr. Williams, correct?
Correct.
And as part of this text thread, you draw the judge's attention to a specific line, correct?
I included that amongst other things in the affidavit, yes.
Well, there's one particular line that you put in a bigger font, and you also circled it, or it's circled, correct?
It's circled, yes.
Okay. And you circled it to draw attention to it, correct?
To what I was referring to, yes.
Yes. And the line that you circled to draw attention to was YSL Rule the World Kid, 24M on an N head, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you wanted to highlight that passage said by Mr. Williams in the text thread, correct?
Correct.
You wanted to highlight that for the judge?
Amongst other posts, yes.
Okay. What was he referring to? Why did you feel it important to highlight 24M on an N's head to the judge?
Well, he's referring to YSL ruling the world
Yeah.
as an organization, and it could be a play on words or a play on things that have happened, saying 24M on a racial expletive head.
Okay, 24M on a racial expletive head. It sounds like Mr. Williams had money on someone's head.
It could be taken that way, yes.
It could be taken that way, and you highlighted it and circled it for the judge, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you believe that too. You wouldn't have misled the judge about what was being discussed, would you? You believe that to be a threat, didn't you?
I didn't say it was a threat. It's saying that he's willing to, that's how they talk. They'll talk about, they have the ability to put money on people's heads.
Okay. Mr. Kokomo, could you please publish Jeffrey Williams 3 and 4, is that correct?
Jeffrey Williams 3, as well as Jeffrey Williams 3A.
Okay. Could you please publish Jeffrey Williams 3? Oh, before you do that, in this thread that you highlighted in your affidavit to the judge, this thread between Wooney Lee and Mr. Williams took place on February 7th, 2021?
Correct.
Okay. You just started over, Mr. Kokomo, with volume. All right.
It's, you can put 24M on the front of your head. Y'all hold get in line. Slime rule the world. Believe it. Y'all niggas out this motherfucker spending 24 million on their heads. You can put 24M on the front of your head. Y'all hold get in line.
Okay, and could you please publish Jeffrey Williams 3A? You see, what's displayed is Jeffrey Williams 3A?
I do.
Okay, and it's a reaction, Jeffrey Williams reacting after Lil Uzi Vert put a $24 million diamond into his head.
Correct.
Okay. Did you know about Lil Uzi Vert and the $24 million diamond and that reference when you filled out this affidavit?
I did not, but I would still stand by what I put in the affidavit.
Okay, so you're telling me right now, on a sworn statement to a judge with knowledge that Lil Uzi Vert just got a $24 million diamond put into his head the days before Mr. Williams typed that, you would still put that quote, YSL ruled the world, 24 million on an end head in that affidavit?
Objection. Big compound made a mischaracterization of what the witness just said.
Overruled.
I did not have knowledge of Lil Uzi Vert getting a diamond in his head.
Okay, so all right, so let me ask that last question again. Instead of saying I would do it again, if you had knowledge that Lil Uzi Vert just got a $24 million diamond in his head and that Mr. Williams was referring to that, would you still have put that in the affidavit?
Yes.
To mislead the judge?
Not misleading. May I explain?
Yes.
Okay. What I'm saying is this social media direct message is different than what you see on here. Lil Uzi Vert, I don't remember, is a member of YSL, so I think it might be a new, like a term they're going to coin. Like wipe his nose, things of that nature. So 24 on somebody's head might be a new thing that they're going to go with. He's saying YSL rules the world. As the leader, he can make that assertion.
You're doing a lot of explaining. Did you do any of that explaining in your sworn affidavit to the judge?
The sworn affidavit reads, Jeffrey Williams brags that YSL rules the world and has $24 million.
Okay. And clearly, when you put highlighted and circled 24M on a N's head, you're sending a message to that judge, are you not? Let's be real.
I'm referring to my words that I wrote say, Jeffrey Williams brags that YSL rules the world and has $24 million.
All right, and just so we're clear, as we sit here today, as someone, a law enforcement officer, even with knowledge of this, you would still put that in front of the judge?
There are different interpretations to everything as we've seen throughout this whole trial.
Yeah, I agree. Can we make our determinations, or are you going to make the determinations for us?
Objection. Arguments is
Sustained.
He didn't even say YSL rules the world. He didn't say that. It's not in the caption side of anything. He said slime rule the world. Y'all said he's King Slime. So how do y'all not know that he's more than likely referring to himself? He didn't say slimes plural. I wish Matt Sharp would have caught that one. But maybe he'll bring it up in closing. I don't know. He never said YSL ruled the world. He didn't say that. So they just fucking lied. He never said that. He said slime ruled the world. Then he said young cats get like Viverito. Then your ass didn't even know, didn't do any research. You just heard him say 24. First off, who in the F is YFN Lucci that had 24 million on his head? Bro, I would have killed him. Like, what? If I would have found out why Lucci had 24 M's on his head, I would have bowed. Yeah, black lights on, and would have popped out somewhere out the bushes like, bang. One shot, straight up. Shot him right in the chest, let him bleed out. Nah, I wouldn't. I'm just joking. These are just jokes. I am just playing. I don't want to participate and ain't participating in criminal activity a day in my life. Never. I'm as square as they come. I'm Mr. Rubik's Cubes. Yeah, whatever they say. So, yeah, nah, bruh. They didn't even say it right. So, that's the shit that be blowing me is like, bruh. Y'all saying that young slime life, so the S in YSL? So, slime in YSL means that? That would have to be the only conclusion that you could draw. But it's pretty much bullshit. But hey, you know what? Tits Doritos, tits Cheetos, tits Fritos. I don't know.
Good afternoon, Investigator Viverito.
Good afternoon.
So you mentioned that Mr. Kendrick's phone was seized at the time that he was arrested on May 9th, 2022, correct?
It was.
And his phone was extracted.
It was.
Did you review that extraction?
I did.
And if you reviewed that extraction, did you see that he had been spending several months in LA and had only returned to Atlanta within a day or two of the day he was arrested?
I did.
Did you also see other location data within that phone?
Absolutely.
Okay. And in that location data, again, he'd been spending the bulk of his time in California, correct?
Correct.
All right. Did you look through all the photographs on that phone?
Oh, through a good bit of them, yes.
The two photographs that were shown in court this afternoon, are those the only two photographs of interest that you believe were in the phone?
No, there was probably a few.
Okay. Did you find any evidence on that phone that Mr. Kendrick was in possession of any firearms?
No.
Okay. Let's briefly return to the Richard Mill watch.
Yes, sure. Sure.
I understand the eye roll. During the seizure that day, and I'm looking at a property report.
Sure.
During the seizure that day, you, and when I say you, I mean APD, can I say under your supervision? Is that accurate?
I didn't work for APD at that time, so I
Well,
couldn't.
okay, then let's just say APD. APD seized. APD seized a necklace and a pendant from a bedroom, correct?
I guess I'd have to look at the report. I don't have it in front of me.
Okay, well, you were involved in this. They seized a blue box of jewelry, correct?
Correct, in a red box.
In a red box of jewelry. They seized jewelry that was on Martinez Arnold.
I believe so.
They seized a Chevy Corvette,
Yes.
a Dodge Durango,
Yes.
a Mercedes-Benz AMG,
Yes.
a Mercedes-Benz GLS class,
Yes.
a Porsche 911,
Yes.
a Jeep Grand Cherokee,
Yes.
a pink Lamborghini,
Yes.
another Mercedes-Benz aluminum silver,
Yes.
about jewelry that was located in a Mercedes AMG.
Yes.
And they even seized a ring found on Jeffrey Williams' hand, correct?
I'd have to see which one was on his hand. I didn't have any contact with Mr. Williams when he was arrested.
Okay. So despite seizing all of that, you left behind the Richard Mill watch, pink with a white ceramic case?
Again, Mr. Weinstein, as it's being inventoried, the jewelry is being looked at. I use photographed. The jewelry is being put on this thing, if you watch the video, and it's placed on the shelf, and nobody messes with it again.
So was that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions.
Thank you.
Let's just be petty real quick. I'm just going to get my petty on. Date signed October 22nd, 2024. Viverito, you should probably read this one. I know you don't work for APD or anything like that, but you should know this so when you come through and testify and throw some BS they way and all that shit, because you stole that watch, in my opinion, based off what I've seen and everything. And you probably look damn good in it. You really, holla at a player. I am joking. Do not holla at me. I don't want nothing to do with your ass. APD staff. The Policy and Standards section is dedicated to providing the department and its employees with accurate, understandable, and transparent policies in order to publish policies that reflect the most up-to-date standards. The Policy and Standards section regularly reviews all policies to ensure that they are reflective of the current mission and objectives of the Atlanta Police Department. No significant changes were found during the review and renewal of APD SOP.3081 crime scene investigation. Crime scene instigation, pardon me. However, we encourage you to read the policy below to better understand. This is where it gets funny. So it's basically about the detail. Y'all had policies. Y'all wasn't listening, which means they're going to have to enforce this more. How to properly preserve evidence to maintain the integrity of an investigation. How the crime scene technicians exist on crime scenes. How ballistic evidence is processed at the Atlanta Crime Lab. How and what evidence should be collected. Very interesting that y'all had to do this. But hey, you know what? Who gives a damn, right? And I really, really, really wanted to open the video that y'all watching right now with this clip right here because it just shows you the power of speedy trial that they just denied Jimmy Winfrey of, which is crazy because it's a constitutional right. Check this shit out.
Looking at the indictment, Your Honor, it looks like for the two counts, count 63 and count 52, while we did charge 133,
Yeah.
it is missing an element. And
It's missing the indictment is missing an element.
yes, Your Honor.
That was going to be subject to the motion.
And so we believe that the language as charged is a 131 charge and
So-
not a 132.
What's it missing?
It's missing the crime that they committed while being in possession of the handgun.
So I don't think y'all get a do-over on that right now.
But we believe that the evidence that's established has the elements
I
of
think it
131.
probably has potentially, but you charged 133. So if you get a do-over to do 106 or whatever it is, then you need to give me law that establishes that.
Okay, we'll get you law, Your Honor.
And that right there, more than likely, is a good thing because if they were to grant a mistrial, all they would need, like a mistrial, even with prejudice, they would need to find new evidence, like to add stuff on, new charges and all that crap. That basically was that right there, in my humble opinion. Nash, what the hell? Sum it all up today. We got to the end of this video. Make it good. I got you. The way that the ending was, as far as the RICO expert that we have, that the state has, because the Georgia RICO is so much more broad than the federal RICO, and that's why it's so bad. And that's why I'm telling y'all, bro, I think these guys are going to get screwed. When I showed y'all in that video with the gang stuff and everything, and I said, hey, bro, this ain't gonna be good, he literally referenced that. Now, I'm not saying no freaking 17-year veteran that's been practicing the RICO law and the execution of it and seeing everything is watching my channel and getting any damn information. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is he knows the law, and I know the law as far as that one goes. And the application of the law, unfortunately, that's what's going to screw these guys over. Do I think Shannon Stillwell is more than likely going to do some prison time? Probably, but no more than a year or two. And it's going to suck because when they get in there, they cut their heads off. I mean, cut their hair. So I'll show you a picture of that in a minute. Not of him looking, but two defendants who actually just got transferred to the Department of Corrections of Georgia. But either way that goes. So today was essentially about establishing a couple of things for this state. The state wanted to show that Viverito is an awesome detective, that she's really good at her job, that she's not just an investigator, she's an expert investigator with a bevy of knowledge, that everything she says should be absolutely taken as truth. And none of that was shown. She bombed today because she was condescending today. You got into it with a damn lawyer and basically said, I'm not going to let you call me a hoe no more. So what if you a hoe? Bitch, all these hoes is hoes. There's hoes watching this right now. So what? And it's just commentary. You're supposed to be above that. What you should have said was, well, if I'm a hoe, you fucking him too. I fuck Shannon, you fuck Shannon, we all fucking Shannon. Let's make it a threesome. Whee! Nah. I'm joking. I'm kidding. So, nah, bro. It's just one of the things where If you're not above the bullshit, you're caught in it and you're stirring it up. And that means it really got to you. Now, I don't know if this woman is a hoe or not. She probably a wholesome ass woman, don't do nothing but go home and watch Instagram and snap certain Instagram photos when certain lyrics pop so then she can say, oh, this right here is a part of it. And that's what Sharp brought up. She screenshotted exactly a portion of a Instagram story where YoungBoy says something crazy. Well, half of what YoungBoy says is crazy, so she knew what the hell she was doing. She was lying, and she knew it, and she didn't give a damn. And that's the thing. There is no penalty for cops lying. I try to tell people this shit all the time. There's no penalty. If you, and I'm talking to you right here, if you came out and let's say somebody broke into your car and then you find out actually nobody broke into your car, but you have an idea and suspicion on who did it, and you say, hey, this person broke into my car and all of this stuff, do you know the cop can actually start to survey and start to say, well, hey, what was missing and extra shit that was messed up with the car had nothing to do with it? Thinking they helping you out? No, they're adding more charges. So cops do this shit all the time. They lie on reports. I've seen it a dozen times within this case, and I've seen it a dozen times in real life. Why? Because there's no repercussion for it. Just like y'all got mad that there's no repercussion for Glanville, get mad too that there's no repercussions for these cops. Viverito was a lying ass woman on that stand. She is not a gang expert. She's an opinionist. And that's it. She's no more a gang expert than I am a top chef. No. Hell no. We're not believing that shit. What we will see is this. They'll be going through and it's going to sound scary. It's going to sound dangerous and all of this shit. And what we're going to find out tomorrow is the way that they can apply the law and the way that they can do their stuff and all this shit. They have a fight on their hands. And I wonder, how many times do they believe, and I'm talking about Doug and Max, can deliver? Because they have a lot on their hands. Now, I also want to point out, where the hell is Miss Love been? She like Carmen Sandiego right now. Yeah. Either one or two things, and this is my theory. Hilton is going to get fired or Love is going to get let go. I don't see why Love would be let go. Because Hilton is the one who damn near caused the mistrials and all this shit. And I told y'all, I thought Viverito was going to cause a mistrial. She damn near caused a mistrial at least 4 times to my count. The judge kept on telling her, keep your personal commentary out of this. And she would not stop. She just wouldn't. Like telling a kleptomaniac on free day, stop stealing. It's all right. You're all right. Don't do it. No, I'm still going to steal free shit. She wouldn't stop doing it. And I got to wonder, what the hell did you think you were doing? And I really, 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 really wish we could have seen if she was doing the let's stare at the jury and then talk while we doing it and then hearing the words. Because if she was doing that, then I ain't gonna lie, that's a bad, bad biddy. I ain't gonna hold you. That's bad. Like, and I mean it in a good way, because her little added commentary, that shit sticks with the jurors. Because what she's doing is she's giving you the reason why. She's giving you justification. And one thing about justification is it sticks. Just like this. If y'all really like this video and y'all really want to get in the conversation and all this shit, see this video has 7K likes. If you don't, then hey, leave a comment at least. The reason why you want to do that is because it forces it to the algorithm and then y'all get to have more people. Now it's justified as to why I told y'all. Now it's the truth. I ain't on no Viverito shit. But ultimately, man, she bombed. Because of the pettiness and the back and forth. And then what happens is the tonality that is presented with Simone Hilton is trash. There was nothing that she said there that really was relevant. Talking about times and all this shit. Well, all right, cool. But what about those calls? Max made it a point, and he was very poignant in pointing this out. Hey, if they would have did anything, would have killed anybody, and they didn't even know, and they talking about guns and running away from stuff and everything like that, why would he not at least drop hints and all that shit about killing dude? It seemed like Grandma probably knew He hang around that BP a lot and all that stuff, and hey, I'll make sure that you ain't hit. They said something about a white car and all of this stuff and everything like that. I know you got that white Audi and you probably was over it and everything like that. And that speeding that they had after that, bro, let me tell you something. If you paying for studio time, them engineers are very strict about that time. He probably was running late and sped. I'm not saying I know for sure or anything like that, but I can give y'all that reason, that right there, in my opinion. But share to keep your people aware. Subscribe to the bell, stay notified. And I'll catch you on the next one. I'm going to try like hell to get to Atlanta for Thursday and Friday. And I'll probably chill there for the weekend. I don't know, because I think we're going to have a verdict by Monday or Tuesday now, because I don't think we're going to have a verdict by Friday. It's just too much shit for them to sift through. And for them to get it done that late and all that stuff, I just don't see it happening. But maybe I'm wrong. But, hey, I do think that Yak Gotti is going to walk out of that courtroom. I don't think Shannon Stillwell is going to walk out of that courtroom. I think he's ultimately going to get like 2 or 3 years. And for all the stuff that he's accused of doing and all of that crap, you just got to take that one on the chin, bruh. And he'll be out in about 1.5 years, so 2026. And live his life. If he's married, cool. If he's a changed man and all of this stuff and everything like that, cool. If not, then shit, it's on him. But I don't think either one of them escaped without some probation and getting found guilty of that RICO charge. But we'll revisit all of the charges against the two and look at the evidence that was presented against him. And we'll see if it'll stick. We'll probably drop that video on Saturday. But I'll catch you on the next one.